If you're new to investing and you want to start making money with stocks, then you've come to the right place. In today's video, I'll walk you through the step-by-step process. I will share my recommendations, which are things I personally invest in. I will also share some pitfalls that you must avoid to make the most money. And by the time you're done watching this video, you will know what you're doing and you'll be confident enough to buy your first stock. There are three things you need to get started. Number one is money. The second thing is a brokerage account, and the third is knowledge of what your investment goal is and what you want to buy. So, step one is that you need money. I mean, this goes without saying. If you have no spare cash or money, you can't possibly invest in the stock market. It's as simple as that. Now that we know you need money, how much money do you really need? Honestly speaking, you can start with a small amount, with as low as $100. One common misconception thrown around is that you need a lot of money to get started, but that's not true. As a matter of fact, I would always recommend you start with a small amount if you're a beginner, so you get comfortable with the investing process without risking too much. After which you can increase to $500, $1,000, or any amount you have. One really important point that I need to stress here is that you should avoid putting money that you need in the short term in the stock market. So say you're saving to buy a car in the next 3 months. Do not put the money in the stock market. Any money you put in the stock market is for the long term. Invest it and be patient enough to let it grow. Step number two is that you need to open an investment account. And most people use brokerage accounts. Brokerages are platforms. It can be an app or a website that make it easy to buy and sell stocks. Think of it like an online store for stocks. These platforms are easy to use and they're mostly free, which means it costs you nothing to open a brokerage account. Interestingly, most brokerages will give you money or free stocks when you sign up with them. As I mentioned, you will need to create an account, which is very simple to do, just like opening a bank account or signing up for any other online service. I will leave links in the description box to some online brokerages. And in 5 minutes, literally in 5 minutes, you will have your account set up. Once your account is set up, the next step is to transfer some money to the brokerage account, which you will then use to buy stocks. This step is very easy. In your brokerage account, you will see an option somewhere in your account to make a deposit or fund your account, and you provide your savings or checking account information. Then you can transfer money from your bank account to the brokerage account. Most people link their bank accounts to their brokerage accounts, so it's easy to just transfer money to and from the bank account anytime. Once you have transferred money, you will see that you have money just sitting in the brokerage account, which signals that you're ready to buy stocks. Now to the fun part. Step number 4 is to pick stocks to buy and choose companies to invest in. Stay with me on this one as I don't want you to get overwhelmed. There are 2 ways to approach this. One is to buy individual stocks or invest in individual companies. And 2 is to invest in index funds or exchange-traded funds, popularly known as ETFs, which bundle multiple companies together into one share. I mean, a little bit of everything. If you decide to go with the first option, here is how you pick stocks. Look for companies you believe in or use products from regularly. You've probably Googled something today. You've used Instagram and Facebook. You probably have an iPhone. You've had Starbucks coffee, and the list goes on and on. Another thing you can do is you can check the company's financials, like their revenue, their profits, and their level of debt. But as a beginner, you don't need to get too deep into this. My recommendation for you as a beginner, especially if you don't have the time or willingness for a deep dive into individual stocks, is to stick to the less risky option, which is to invest in index funds or ETFs, preferably an ETF. You can't go wrong with a broad market ETF like the S&P 500 ETF. That could be any of these 3, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF VOO, iShares Core S&P 500 ETF IVV, or SPDR Portfolio S&P 500 ETF SPLG. My personal favorite is VOO, or its equivalent is VFV if you live in Canada. Step number 5 is to place your buy order. This process is pretty much the same across the different brokerage platforms. So it doesn't really matter what brokerage you're using. Process stays the same. You will need to search the stock you want to buy, Choose how many shares you want and at what price. If I want to invest in Pfizer Inc., the pharmaceutical company with ticker symbol PFE, first thing is to search the stock. Current price is at 26.09. If I want to buy 3 shares of this stock, I'll place an order of 3 shares at $26 per share. That will cost me $78 in total. Once the order is executed, it means I now own 3 shares of Pfizer and I'm a part owner of the company. After you've made your purchase, the next step is to wait and watch your investment. My sincere advice is for you not to worry too much about short-term fluctuation. The stock market can go up and down daily, but over the long term, it tends to grow. You may see your stocks go up and down in value, but unless you need the money right away, stick with it. Over time, your investments would grow as the companies do well. Step number 7 is how to sell a stock. After you buy a stock, you can decide to sell it anytime you want. All you need to do is place a sell order. So say Pfizer is doing well as a company and their stock price has increased to $40 a share, which is higher than what you bought it for. You will place a sell order for 3 shares of Pfizer, which is $40 times 3. Your Pfizer share will be gone and you will no longer have an ownership in the company, but you will immediately have $120 cash in your brokerage account. This means you made a profit of about $42. The last step is how to cash out and have access to your money. This is a quick and easy step as well. Similar to how you transferred money from your bank account to your brokerage account, you can place a withdrawal order to transfer money from your brokerage account to your bank account. It takes about a day or 2 for the transfer to be completed. I have some piece of advice and just general recommendation to you as a beginner. The first thing is that you diversify. Don't just invest in one stock. That's very risky. You can start with one stock, but over time, make sure you spread your money across different companies in different sectors to reduce risk. Number 2 is to stay consistent and invest regularly. If all you can afford to invest every month is $500, make sure you consistently invest that $500 every month. Number 3 is to invest for the long term. The stock market rewards patience, and your time in the market could make all the difference. Investing in the stock market is a must, and the sooner you start, the better. Start small. You don't need to invest a lot of money to begin with, and you can put in more money as you get more comfortable or as you get comfortable. I have a good number of useful videos talking about investing on this channel, and I will leave a link below. Please subscribe to this channel if you found those useful. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.